Marcelo works with the environmental group called Face Espírito Santo in Brazil, and a lot of oil water communities in Brazil who are affected by oil explorations and extractions, and also against monoculture plantations and the carbon market. Thank you for joining us all the way from Brazil. I know you've been on for a long time. Buenos dias, you have the floor.
Olá, bom dia, good morning,
Good morning.
my colleagues. I would like to speak very short because my English is so short, and also I will try to speak a bit about the climate and power alternatives, energy in Latin America and also in Brazil. First, I would like to thank Nemo and Homef and also colleagues from the School of Ecology. I'm very happy to stay here with you and also to learn about the other countries and other people in Africa and in Asia. It's so good to learn and also to see you, some of you again. And I will try to speak with my short English. Well, here the sun is coming, crossing the Atlantic. Starting here in Brazil, one more Brazilian morning. The sun, the first energy for the life and the first energy that origin all the other energy. Without sun, without life, without photosynthesis, no life, no Gondwana life, no fossil fuel. The sun, the first energy. And then for many centuries and millennial years, the fire control. So much time between the natural energy from the sun and the fire control from our older and older habitants in the earth. And then the fire control start also the power control. The energy control in the origin was also the power control. The power control over the nature and also the power control over the other human groups. So long time between that period and our recent capitalism. So long time, so long, millennials, 2 millennials, 3 billions. And also today, the energy power is one kind of political power. It's a kind of control, the nature and the to control also the other groups, other people. Yeah, today in Latin America, the state's policy and the governments and the corporation and the banks, all them together promote to grow the energy production and the energy consumption. They invest billions and billions of dollars to promote all kinds of energy. They colonize many territories in many Latin American countries, and also they colonize the mental territories in all Latin America countries. They colonize from the both sides, from the mental territories, because they create lifestyles, they create the consumptions, they create all kind of business, and they offer lifestyles in supermarkets to colonize the mental territories, to make them more oil dependence, to make them more plastic dependence, to make them more agrochemicals dependence, more fossil fuel dependence, and also colonizing the natural territories. In Argentina, they promoting the fracking onshore in the region where indigenous peoples and other peoples resist against the fracking. Also in Colombia, there are group of indigenous people that resist against mining and against oil companies. And also in the coast of Colombia, there are peasant communities and fisher communities that are resisting against offshore, oil offshore extraction. In Peru, also, there are in the coast, in the north coast of Peru, in the Pacific coast, there are fishers community resist against oil companies offshore in the north coast of Peru. In Ecuador, it's not so on the coast, but in the Amazon, like in Bolivia, there are indigenous peoples resisting against the exploration of oil just in the Amazon region. In Honduras and also in Costa Rica, more today in Honduras, there are a big risk to explore oil offshore also. In Honduras Caribbean region, where there are many fishers community. In Costa Rica, we have the first one important victor, because they have a law, a national law, that is not interdicting the exploration in the Atlantic in Costa Rica. Also in Venezuela, Venezuela is the tragic example that an oil civilization, the fossil fuel civilization, and the oil industry civilization is very bad, because they have a lot of oil and a lot of problems that oil civilization did not resolve Yes, there are many risks in Latin America and Brazil also. We have the oil industry expansion along the Atlantic coast from the north of São Paulo state to the south of Espírito Santo state. There are many platforms along the ocean, sometimes 300 kilometers from the coast, sometimes more near the coast, but to have a platform in the ocean, at the same time, it's necessary a big infrastructure along the coast. The big roads and ports and oil terminals and gas terminals, they are colonizing the Brazilian Atlantic coast. Many industry, Chevron and the Norway, Statoil. Today they changed the name for other name. I did not remember the Statoil company today, the name, but also Shell along the Brazilian and also in Latin America. Shell is a make big business and big problems, and out then want to grow this economy. Today, of course, Nemo show us one graphic with the cost of the international price of oil, and many state companies like the Brazilian company Petrobras did not support to maintain the exploration with the low price, the price down of the oil. And then there are also the privatization and the concentration of oil business in few hands, in few players in the global markets. And then we need to have to dialogue about strategy to confront all this oil civilization. We need, because it's important to think the alternatives of the oil civilization. Important now to stop the expansion of oil civilization. And at the same time, we need to think the alternatives. It's not possible to think alternatives without the confront to stop the expansion. And in the other side, it's not enough to stop the expansion and do not think the alternatives. Because the alternatives, we need to make a global debate into the civil societies with the organization, the local communities, and global debate about for who and for what we need more energy, for what kind of use we need more energy, because maybe the quantum of energy the world produces today, it's enough for all people, for all families. It's enough to all the use we need to have a well survive, a well life in the land, in the earth. But of course, we need a lot to distribute this energy, to decentralize this energy and to produce local energies, to promote local style of life, because they do not want to expense more investment in energy to have energy for all. No, this is not the corporation project. The corporations and the state projects is to have more energy, to offer more products for the elite, to offer more plastic, to offer more agrochemicals, to offer more fossil fuel. They want to have more produce, to have more consumption, but they don't think the life of people into this consumption, or they think just the consumption like the life and the center of the life. The challenge is not just to change maybe the source, but the source of energy. The challenge is to change the lifestyles that they promote for all the world, like the good life. It's a life with a lot of consumption. It's a life with a lot of violation against the nature, and also against the human groups, and more against the poor groups. And in Brazil also, the oil expansion promote the racism against indigenous group and against fishers group, artisanal fishers group, and campesinos, small peasants groups, and against all the civil society that lived near the extraction area or near the refineries or near the pipelines. And the challenge maybe is to learn about the traditional communities, how technologies, how they think the technologies, how they think the life, how they think the relation with the nature, to create other style of lives that respect the rights of the nature and the rights of people. Maybe we need to have actions for that both sides, to stop the industry. We have many actions. We have many campaigns in now Latin America, in now Africa. We can see all of you resisting with your communities, resisting against the oil, and also in Asia. Here in Brazil, we have a campaign, No More One Well. We articulate fishers, small fishers organizations, and also quilombos, Afro-Brazilian quilombos, quilombolas, and also human defenders and environmentalists. And we create a campaign against the expansion. And also we organize and we promote small experience to reduce petrol dependence, local experience that confront the oil colonization of the mental territories. And for example, 1 week without plastic. For example, cosmetics without petrolates, oil derivatives, agroecology and other kind of agriculture without pesticides, without herbicides, and also technologies to confront the car and the road civilization, the old bicycles, and also the fuel using cooking oil of soil against the oil, the diesel oil in cars, and other experience, important local experience to have your proper fuel and your proper agroecology and other products to reduce the petrol dependence. This is so important to confront the oil industry, also to fix the transition. And the transition is necessary for the two sides, two different strategies, but articulated, is very important to protect the rights, to protect the nature, and to protect the people. Okay, for now.